Hi, I'm romance author Lori Thorne, and this is my weekly writing vlog, Good Time Writing. I will be sharing my crazy author research topics. Google thinks I'm nuts, of course. My word counts for the week just in a rundown, and then we will get to talk about my favorite lines of the week, and you will get to vote on your favorite lines from my works in progress. And this is a gatekeeping free zone. So if you have questions about writing or being an author, publication, any of those things, just let me know. So let's jump in. Today, yes, but all week long, this is actually my most productive and most loved week since I've started this vlog. Things have been going on in life in general. We're moving, it's the end of the school year, stuff is going nuts. And so it has not been always just like a normal week. And this week was a pretty normal week and it felt so good. And here's what a pretty normal week looks like. Here we go. So on Monday, I did 1,947 words in Dirty Hands. And I Googled the deathbed movie. My characters are talking about trashy horror films. And deathbed, the bed that eats, is always the one that just comes to my mind. I'll let you look more into that. I also looked for mini golf themes and salted caramel chocolate cake. Delicious. I did 383 words in occult accounts. On Tuesday, I did 633 words in Dirty Hands. And I Googled the most contentious business meeting, which honestly, not a good search. It did not give me the results that I was looking for. Google was like, oh, we can help you with that. Here's how to not have a contentious meeting. And I'm like, no, that's what I want. That's what I want. Anyway, I did 414 words in occult accounts and Googled about thrifted clothes because Hestia is a thrift goddess. On Wednesday, I did 687 words in Dirty Hands and 498 words in occult accounts. There was this really delicious, awkward moment between Hestia and Felix where she's trying on these clothes in this thrift store and he's never been shopping with a woman before and kind of expects her to come out and do the fashion show. And she doesn't do it. In her mind, she's like, well, Felix is here. We got to get out of here. Like, he's not going to enjoy this. And then he's all like, how come you didn't show me? And she says something that I can't tell you here. But it's embarrassing because it comes out kind of as a double entendre. It was adorable. Loved it. I also Googled a lot about Mount Eden in Auckland, which is it's a volcanic field and it's their highest point in the city. And if you climb up it, you can look down across the city of Auckland and all of the suburbs, and it's very beautiful. On Thursday, I did 568 words in Dirty Hands, and there was pining and kind of a mystery, and so it's so much fun this week. This week was great. I also did 971 words because I was not done with that Mount Eden scene. And the characters are getting so close together. Ooh, it was a wonderful thing. I Googled more about Mount Eden, the type of plants that grow on there. In fact, the Maui word for it, I'm not going to try to pronounce it because I don't know. But it literally means a certain type of tree, like a wah tree, something like that. So I learned all about that. And there was some explaining about greenkeepers, which is a type of magic wielder in this universe that gives Hestia chills because she had never considered the implications of using this magic. So let me just explain for a tiny second. I know this is going to go long, but a greenkeeper or a wild keeper also. Felix is a greenkeeper. He's telling her about his sort of gift, his powers that he has. And on the surface level, like other people who see greenkeepers just know that they can manipulate plants. They work with flora. And it's not really questioned how this happens. It's just something that they can do. They can make a tree rustle, you know, they can make it hide something in its leaves. They can make it bend and respond. They can make grass spring up. Like, this is something that they do. Well, Felix, the way he talks about it is more like he's asking a plant to do something. And she asks, like, what do you mean? Isn't it just an on or off sort of switch? Like, you tell it to do something and then it does it. And he says that it's more complicated than that for him. And he's talking about consent. And she asks, well, I've never heard it referred to like this. He explains, you know, it's not like the plants speak your language, but there is definitely a feeling of either resisting a request or a command or not, and that he doesn't force the plant that he's talking to do anything. And she gets chills. Do other greenkeepers work the same way? I don't know. Anyway, today I did 1,484 words in Dirty Hands. That was 5,319 words total for Dirty Hands, and we're in chapter 27, and 2,266 words in Occult Accounts, and we're in chapter 13. Awesome. Okay, we are going to vote your WIP. So get your voting fingers ready and tell me in the comments which one of these lines is your favorite. I come bearing 2 today. I know I usually have 3, and I did way more writing than I usually do. I think I did a bad job keeping track of my favorite lines. That's on me. Anyway, line number 1. Fiona came home walking on air. No, more like dancing. The important part is that she was 2 full inches above the carpet. And 2, style is fun, but the fit of the clothes is what makes them look good on a person. Which is your favorite line? Thank you for hanging out with me in Good Time Writing. Like I said, if you have questions, just hit me up and subscribe. And I'll see you next week.